Sus corners.
His 206 cap for his very first against England. Euro Champions League. Argentina.
Come on, guys. Okay, it's già feito.
World Cup in Messi. What are the 8 goals here? And that's 2026. Countdown. England, Argentina. England pada match samsung ya cerita bagaimana match itu nanti kita ada buku mana lagi bincang. Jom lagi 16 seconds. Oh, bukan lagi rekod tidak ada bagaimana kalau saya boleh saya World Cup. Bila ada bagaimana kita bersikap, what's it take off again? 1998. Betul Korea, waktu lagi Korea. Nah, 11 seconds. Tapi nak berjaya masuk. Venga per la maputa che Bugini e non sa due vantaggio. Spiega per la che mangia Stones. Ci sono calati già la prima che Bugini a Argentina. Sanno che da che ne tanti iniziano a quella che la poi non sa che la poi i World Cup. Dove sta la che muove per Benaghe? Ugesi. Benito. Oh no, non è stato rimane. Oppe poi la poi yellow card che lì. Le ha yellow card che lì. So let's go to the non prende. O a say USA. Jo buona che la poi am su dunque la poi che non lo ha che non che picia. Ina che poi ko paradise.
Tengo algo te invece.
La che yellow card che scende la poi. Ina che ko paradise.
Buena, con una cool. Y ya tú vas kakhulu. Asho.
Despegue por aquí para que mueva que Argentina. Sala per pressing la buona England in Bogey. Bafana Bafana di Argentina. Ben di Panama. Taglia tipo. Di Argentina.
Futhi mina ngabe mina sengimfake i-yellow card. Khathi yena ngikwazi kungcono. Shintsha. Shintsha.
Tension on the field.
This is always going to happen with these two teams today. At some point, it's going to get particularly lively. Very difficult to officiate. The referee's got to have eyes everywhere. They thought they would do a free kick, and because they carried on, then all of a sudden you see Enzo Fernandez getting in and around Elliot Anderson. But they expected the whistle to go. It didn't happen, or if it did, certainly England never heard it. They carried on playing.
Well, that's a very interesting referee's view. But a very early flashpoint.
Yeah, look, again, I think that, and again, both teams will know the importance of keeping discipline. But I think we're going to see a few of those in this little match-up today. I really do, and it wouldn't surprise me if they get a little tastier as the game goes on.
Anthony Gordon keeping his place on the left-hand side. Has come way out into midfield and was gesturing, not just to receive the ball, but gesturing his teammates ahead of it to get into the right areas as far as he was concerned. Here's Rice, who's been saying how well he's recovered from illness. He came off at half-time in the quarter-final. Gaze also had some problems as well with a hamstring. And Jed Spence has been operating with a broken jaw. Operating very successfully.
Well done. Challenge in the end on Jed Spence, but he made really good gains there down that left-hand side, really positive.
Positive from Spence, positive with the press from England. Trying to rattle the cage of the world champions. Gay. Swept out to Reece James, the senior right back really when he's fit. He's ball by McAllister. Julian Alvarez, of course, no longer plays for an English club, but had a couple of very good years with Manchester City.
There's Argentina squeezing this time on Elliot Anderson. And that first time ball.
Morgan
Rogers down this right side. An area of the field for him that he's not totally accustomed to.
Romero. Let's look at Juliana Simeone. Did start the game that Argentina didn't need to win the third group game, and they made a whole raft of changes. Ratting away England. Dad did it, David Beckham, and vice versa.
Good tempo, lovely tempo at the start of the game. Look, we want a semi-final that's bristling, that's on the edge. They're the best games, the most exciting ones to watch, and there's every indication that this one's going to have that.
It's a brilliant ball from Pickford. Not just playing on the right, which he doesn't do for his club. He's making very good ground here. Yeah, in the whole season, and he played just over 3 hours on the right-hand side for Aston Villa.
Yeah, if he doesn't play in that 10 position, which obviously Jude Bellingham operates in, then usually for his club he's off the left side, cutting in on his right foot. So today, he'll want to mix his game up, but you'll see Morgan Rogers do more of what he just did, drive towards the dead ball line and try and stand crosses up.
I said taller. This might be first
broadcast team is already on the end of corners and more pushing and shoving going on. And by Rice, it's a closey one. Players from both sides on the ground. And trying to win it back and stop Argentina playing out, and then they were drilled into the back of Gavey by McAllister. Yeah, just seeing all the grabbing that's going on the screen there, the monitors from those corners. I mean, it's very difficult to marshal that and stay on top of that because everybody's doing it. When we talk about height and youth and speed, it might just be cool-headedness that decides this one. Martinez, who can be inflammatory himself. The Argentina flag woven into the side of his hairdo.
Oh.
Taliafico. It's as tight as that, all over the pitch. It is. All you're looking to do as a player in these opening exchanges, be neat and tidy about your work. Probably the one player out there so far that hasn't really kicked it. It's the Argentinian number 10, here he is. Thomas Tuchel did say in his press conference, I did think about going man-to-man on Messi. There's no sign of that so far. Because he wanders, Martin. That's the problem you have. He's prepared to wander around the field, being on Messi, to pick up the best position. If you go man-for-man, then it's a defensive player. You can find yourself getting dragged all over the place. You'll have seen that and faced that countless times over the years and dealt with it. Wants to play it forward. Challenge to an angle that he didn't complain about. I think the England fans do. Anderson. And captivating viewing for everybody, including the FIFA royalty. The president is here and the general secretary sitting behind him. McAllister. McAllister played every minute except the game against Jordan, that third game, the group stage that I referred to earlier. After Jordan. He got there. Did indeed. He would actually to get anything on the end of that Anthony Gordon, because it was skipping off the top of the surface there. It looked like he was heading for a goal kick all the way, but made something of it. He's got better as the tournament has gone on, I think, in an England shirt. Anthony Gordon, he's looked particularly dangerous down that left side. And fortified, I'm sure, by the fact that he's joining Barcelona. And Martinez goes wrong. Well covered by Stones. Ball was played in one direction. I don't think he's a member of it now, but Louis Tomlinson knows his football. He played for Doncaster Reserves in a professional game. Looked like a trip on Elliot Anderson. This thing is going on off the ball as well. Not just there, Elliot Anderson was involved. This is going to take some officiating this game. And the bench is below us, Martin. Yeah, Thomas Tuchel was up, and immediately Scaloni was up as well. So all the officials, fourth officials, the referee out there, assistant referees on either flank, everybody's got to have their eyes all over the place here. Leo Messi just looks on, unleashed the rough stuff to the others. He leaves them all to it, he does, yeah.
Anderson, again, for
the referee, giving it every chance before a card will be brandished, but it's kind of inevitable with this one that once he brandishes one, we could see quite a lot. Well, you think of Rattin in '66 sent off as a quarter-final, Beckham
himself in '98. Both occasions, the team that had the dismissal lost. Is the lesson, isn't it? Look at the room for Enzo Fernandez.
Corta-lhe.
His best.
Aí, ó.
Argentina still have it. The Chelsea midfield player who captains the side when Reece James isn't playing. Of course, they're not exactly the same part of the pitch, but they're very much opponents here today. Romero. To Julian Alvarez, who scored that wonderful, wasn't the final goal of the quarterfinals, but an ultimate one. Simeone has made the run. Didn't need to wait for the advanced semi-automated offside call. There was another area of confrontation.
Jordan Pickford saying it's our fault, we want to get on with the game, but
There are ways of doing it. That just inflames it.
I know. I don't see a point in getting involved in doing that, to be perfectly honest.
The referee might have got a booking for Simeone by leaving it rather than becoming possibly the aggressor. I'm sure you're all watching and listening with their views on the sportsmanship of it, but it's quite a scrap, and that's the way it's going to carry on. And England with Gordon, looking dangerous. Spence is right up there with it. Gordon's still going, Slightly indulged, I think, at the end.
Yes, one too many hits it. Romero got dragged out the middle of that Argentinian defence there and was nowhere.
This lovely piece of passing by Argentina. Haven't really flexed their attacking muscles yet. James is across. It was caught out by Alvarez. Unfortunately for England, well, they'll stay in play here. And this James, you see him coming. And here's Paredes. Holding midfield players know how to set off the patterns of play that Argentina have used successfully. Scored plenty of goals, Andy, haven't they? 17.
Oh yeah, they have. No, as I mentioned, I think sometimes when they've got in front in matches, they've sat off the game a little. But, Martin, when they really go for it, they can knock a few in just a few minutes. Make no mistake about that. They've got people that are very capable.
Here's Paredes. For all their early pressing, England getting a lot behind the ball when necessary. It was necessary, and they can break. Bellingham. It's a fine and fair challenge.
It's a good challenge, that one from Paredes. He's definitely trying to get into Bellingham's space. He is.
McAllister. 15 yards away from that. Argentina thought they should have had a free kick. England have got one now. Gordon started well.
Yep, that was a crunching challenge, that one from Paredes, and he was quick to let Jude Bellingham know, and that's the right reaction. You don't want to get caught up in anything. He just wants to focus on what he's been doing magnificently throughout the competition so far, Jude Bellingham. He's been the best midfield player, if not the best player in the competition.
James. I'm sure both sides relishing the surface they're playing on. There is a game of football to be played. Just a score or two to be settled. Good conditions under the roof, of course. This remarkable stadium. James gets it back still. Spence. Very bravado. Hasn't always been in his club side, Jed Spence. season in England.
It's really good work there, Fernandez.
There we are. There's your Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Jagger. Fully uninitiated. Or maybe the very young. Definitely my generation.
And Mike, I love him, yeah.
I actually saw those Stones at the 1982 World Cup. It's dating them and me a bit, isn't it? The old Atletico Madrid Stadium. Last World Cups. There's plenty to look at here with these two teams. Argentina had 5 previous semi-finals. They've won them all. And of course, they've only won the one. Final in '66 was against Portugal.
Tagliafico there, yeah. Plunging into that challenge, does make a bit of contact with the ball as well as making Morgan Rogers with it.
There's a real sense of brotherhood for both these groups. There's no question about it. They're tied together by the unity of the purpose here. Something's got to be broken. James, Rogers, in his turn to slick a few passes together, miss the tackles.
When we see both teams just start to play a bit of one touch, that's when things can happen. When you start bouncing 3 or 4 passes, one touch, first time, that's when you can get a teammate into good position. Just like that one there from Anthony Gordon.
So lovely ball by Kane to Rogers. Kane's on the overlap. It's in there. Mistake to miss for a minor moment. To threaten the Argentina goal. Not been getting into penalty area. There's been a lot of play broken up on the edge. That actually was the first real contribution in one of the penalty boxes here in the stadium. Messi, unmistakably, that's not Messi, is it? Messi with a Y. Martinez didn't make his international debut till he's 28. It's a remarkable rise. One from Tagliafico, who is the very willing Julian Alvarez. Work the width. Messi kind of chested in. Anderson smelled the danger. Hasn't passed yet. It's paid this time. Now the flag has gone up.
Yeah, you mentioned Julian Alvarez, Martin. That's one of his greatest qualities. So he's got tons of skill and know-how, and as we saw with that goal in the game against Switzerland, he's got great ability, but he works and he doesn't stop running and chasing, and they need that. Argentina with Messi, who often we know that is kind of just walking around waiting for something to happen, waiting to get involved. We need someone up there who's going to really charge around, and Alvarez is so generous like that.
Rogers trying to make a run through the middle. The ball skips away. I don't think we got there anyway. Shout not pass was the message from Tagliafico. He's a great friend of Jude Bellingham, Morgan Rogers. They grew up in the Birmingham area in the Midlands in England together.
Great ball, that one-touch ball there from Messi just round the corner.
Paredes lending it to one or two of his teammates. Down the right side, but it's Alvarez to the left. And spotted by James to block. Tagliafico. tap by Bellingham.
His own touch actually got away from him. Then he just takes that one on the top of the foot from Bellingham. He's got every right, Jude Bellingham, to go for that. The ball's there in the loose. Alistair this time just comes off second best, but he's okay.
He's got a free kick. Again from the paint.
Centre halves going forward for this one. First time maybe we'll see this England backboard tested with Romero and others who will push forward.
Trying to hold pretty high line. Argentina's response is to go to the right to Giuliano Simeone. And he wins a corner for the world champions.
Good play, Jet Spence, with defensive.
Yeah, no.
And where have I seen him before?
Mascherano.
A loyal fan as well as a wonderful player for his country. This is interesting. First time the referee's been examined in his response to what Argentina are going to try and conjure up by any means. He's not going to be penalised to get the opening goal from a Messi corner. Picked with back pedalling. The free kick had gone, the whistle had gone for the foul.
Yeah. Simeone was so close to him really and actually facing him. Look on the right side of the screen. I think that's totally unnecessary. You don't need to do that.
The hydration break.
Mzansi Bafana Bafana Spain hiyo.
Opportunity. And they have been competitive. They've been 2 Euro finals. See the semi-final 2018, the quarter-final. Harry Kane missed that penalty against France, which could have changed the outcome. They're in this envelope now.
They are. They've been knocking on the door. You're right. At the same time, very fine margins, as we all know, to come through these games on the right side. It really is.
Oh, kuze kwanzima.
So, yeah, it was intended. It was intended for the wide run there of Enzo Fernandez. Messi thought it was a ball intended for him, but it was coming at him a bit quick and he couldn't quite take control of it. But that was a straight ball from Jordan Pickford, played into a midfield area that Argentina were waiting for it and picked it off.
Strong challenge on James by McAllister. Again, there's Thomas Tuchel needs to just be a bit careful here.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's apoplectic, raised below us.
He is an emotional character. It's always the instance right in front of the dugouts that inflame the coaches. Argentina actually played in the very first World Cup semi-final back in 1930. It's the United States, strangely enough. And they won 6-1. And the crowd was 73,000, so it wasn't a slow burner in that respect. Only 13 nations compared to 48 in this one. It's such a wonderful history. The centenary, of course, when the next World Cup comes around in 4 years' time. Anderson. Okay. It's a raking pass.
Ball that is. Great ball that from Harry Kane, who's not been involved an awful lot. That's why he went and dropped so deep there, just to start getting involved.
Stokes. Now Spence has a couple of hasty breaks down that far side. Jordan held on, took a bit too long. Argentina snapping at his heels. Martinez made a good recovery. He broke his finger playing, actually warming up for the Europa League final for Aston Villa back in May. No sign of it as an inconvenience in this tournament. Here's Paredes, trying to boss proceedings.
Actually started the game well, Paredes. He's made a couple of big tackles, but it's been nice and neat and tidy in possession.
Aliafico didn't start the tournament. Medina was the first choice left back for the opening couple of games. Trying to raid on that right-hand side. For Molina, it's calmed down a bit. Thomas. There's a former England manager, Fabio Capello, a former foreign England manager. Been too many of them. Bellingham getting a chance to impress. And the fans really backing him.
Great done. Excellent work. Exactly the right thing there, Jude Bellingham. That's what I've been so impressed with him in this tournament, is he knows when to drive at the opposition. He knows when those challenges are going to come flying in at him. There's 3 blue shirts. Look, yeah, and it's well applauded by the coach. He knows it. It's important that he does that when he gets the opportunity. He hasn't really had a chance to do much of that, but when he does, he is very, very difficult to stop.
It's over the half-hour mark, factoring in the hydration break. England fans in very good voice, great acoustics. Beckham with his own personal history England against Argentina, including a winning penalty in the 2002 World Cup group stage in Japan. Watching on eagerly, and of course very much a free kick specialist role today with Declan Rice. England getting John Stones in round the back.
Yeah, half a chance there. Nice blighted, drifting clip from Declan Rice towards that far post, and John Stones is above Lisandro Martinez. So look at those, look at the grabbing there that goes on and creates actually that big area for John Stones to maybe go and attack it. Just didn't get his forehead on it.
It's the first attempt of the game. The bounce. Simeone's enthusiasm getting the better of his challenge. It's a foul. I guess his dad is here somewhere, but he's not sitting next to David Beckham. Okay, he's strong. He's not a confrontational person. He might be. Stones.
It doesn't matter how many times, Martin, your coach and all the staff and everybody around you tell you to keep your heads, keep your cool, keep your discipline. In that split second, in that moment, sometimes something else comes over you, takes over and makes it very difficult.
It's a brilliant kick from Pickford, a lovely touch from Spence, and Gordon was nearly onto England by the most direct route. We're very nearly behind Argentina then. Spence was still reflecting rather than chasing, but he's there now. That's won it fairly enough. It's Simeone. Gordon. The free kick England's way. They're having a good spell.
Immediately convinced the referee there, Jude Bellingham. And he's quite right. Molina there, that's reckless. He gets too tight. And that's unnecessary. Even though Argentina pride themselves on being a really tough team defensively, you don't want to concede too many free kicks in this sort of area, particularly with a team like England who have got so many tall and significant players.
The ninth Argentine foul. This free kick being entrusted to Reece James, who could go for goal here.
Yeah, this one, if he hits it hard and flat, almost like a shot, and get those white shirts running across the front of it.
Plenty to be done for the world champions. That's exactly what Andy Townsend described. Argentina haven't got it away yet. They might now. Rice gives it straight to Alvarez. Great ball. Now Messi. Held up importantly initially by Spence, but the great man is still going. Now another flash point.
Yeah, here it comes.
Messi ran into a roadblock. Riccardo's just held aloft.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that was to. I mean, great skill from Messi, wasn't it? He could have dropped it off, you know, he could have rolled it backwards, but that's what I mean. He's been in this scenario so many, countless times, thousands of times over the years where he's second best to come out with the ball, but he somehow does.
It gets the card. Kane went in, Gordon went in.
Yeah, that is a yellow card challenge, it is. Yep. Elliot Anderson knows exactly what he's doing there. That's a dangerous one.
Well, it has taken 37 minutes for the first card, so the referee, I think, has kept his patience well, but he had no alternative then. And Messi's over the free kick. This ball, when hit, has stayed hit, but I think it's far too far out even for someone as talented as the taker. Because he took a shorter route. Now he might have a crack. He does. Enzo Fernandez.
He hit that well. He hit that very sweet, Enzo Fernandez. They feel that Jordan Pickford or someone got a touch on it along the way, but he hit this one nice. Didn't see much contact there. It's definitely not been touched by Jordan Pickford. Looks like the right decision, goal kick.
But that's the football for you. This World Cup football, it gives you value, shall we say, for your shooting. We've had plenty of goals from outside the penalty area, 41 in fact, to 294. It's a good percentage.
It is. Better little spell for Argentina, this. Last 5-6 minutes in particular, Messi's got involved because he hadn't seen anything up to half an hour, but they've got him in and around the game now in this last little spell, and they look better for it.
Tactically, the game being slowed down. It's nothing to do with the heat. It's temperature very regulated in this indoor arena. Doesn't feel very indoor, does it? But we do have the roof. The games here and in Dallas have been excellent because of that air conditioning. Yeah, Simeone. Messi trying to work your way through. It's very good covering by Rice. Declan on deck when needed. It's almost as and the Argentina feel that they can control the ball, but at a slower tempo.
Yeah.
They can't maybe match the quickness of England's breaking through midfield. Maybe they've got the guile. They've certainly got the experience, and they've got Messi. Alvarez. Romero. There is Messi. Gave and went, but didn't get it back again. Taliafico. England being moved around to keep their eyes on the men they're supposed to be marking as well as on the ball, which is with Alvarez. Now Simeone. Nicely worked. They're not behind England. They haven't really threatened Pickford except for that long ranger from Enzo Fernandez. This is where England hope to use the transition. It's a great strength in Morgan Rogers.
Yeah. Got to be a card there because Anthony Gordon was wide open down the left side. And that's exactly the right tactic for England. It was that pass from Messi that was intercepted, and Morgan Rogers very good at this, very good at travelling with the ball.
Martinez. Popping the card. Spence. Made, of course, of Romero, is not too far away from him. James. Fernandez, who is a shrewd user of the ball.
Yeah, did well there because Giuliano Simeone well offside, so he just slowed it down and went to Molina, which was the right call.
Messi. Back from Anderson, who's carrying the card and wouldn't afford any mistakes. Bellingham trying to go through the gears here, trying to go through Argentina's defending.
Good work actually from Romero there. So he followed Bellingham all the way and then didn't want to let Bellingham get up and run and get his head up. Good challenge. I do think England, Martin, need to try and have a little bit more possession, control possession themselves, not just waiting for the turnover every time.
Goes out of Simeone, who's providing legs there that Rodrigo de Paul wouldn't be able to do, you feel. Well, of course, he's been cast in the role, not just a right-sided midfielder, but Messi's minder as well. So Leo's unguarded in that sense today. And still only made that decision. Played in the World Cup, 2006. It's his last cap, actually. Played in England, played in an FA Cup final, no less. West Ham United. And Stones has played in many a cup final, hoping to add a World Cup final to his list.
Yeah, I think the more Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice get on the ball, better they get this guy, Bellingham, involved, and Harry Kane, more importantly, again, who hasn't really seen much of the ball yet, not had any sort of chance to get his head up and try and work Emi Martinez.
Anderson. James trying to turn it into fine ball as he has done a couple of times. Harry Kane pass out to him. It's worked. That one didn't quite. We're heading towards half-time. It's a great time it will be to score. Bellingham spreads his arm in disbelief that that wasn't a foul. The referee's got the opinion that he'll have to let the minor contacts go because there are plenty of major ones. 3 added minutes. It's the hydration break minutes.
Better finish to the half for England. This playing in Argentina's half of the field. Just looking to try and pick out Bellingham or Kane in a little bit of space.
Here is Kane. Not in much space. Rice. Is it tempting fate, Andy, to say it's settled down a bit?
Well, look, again, I don't think it's ever going to be too far away from this one boiling over. I think it can happen at any given point, but I haven't had too many genuine attempts on goal. Neither goalkeeper really been tested yet.
The goalkeepers certainly have been tested, not been a shot on target yet.
Yeah.
James. Rogers. On the right side berth. Head of Nonu Madueke and Bukayo Saka. Third quarterback. For the Atlanta Falcons, if you know your NFL. Offside. And also for Atlanta United in the Major League Soccer. Big news from that department here in the United States. They're going to switch to a winter conventional season, not play through the summer. Season after next, they're going to have a shortened season and then go again. That's too cool. telling his troops how to go again in the second half with those notes. Half time just yet. Okay. So from Paredes. There's antagonism from the Argentina dugout. Free kick given. Very much the closing seconds of the first half here in Atlanta. Second semi-final. This has some good forward surges. England allowed to still go here, and will there be time to take the corner? I don't think so. Well, it's been the first half with Enzo Fernandez having crack-a-jack of a shot. First half with plenty of bite, maybe a little bit of spite, and occasionally a light touch, but not many of those, certainly not in an attacking sense. And we reach the break. No nearer knowing who Spain will face in the final. England 0, Argentina 0.
shows us that this has been a tie that is highly contested. I mean, if you look at those stats from that first half, it does clearly show quite a physical match. In fact, 4 fouls for Argentina in the opening 10 minutes, the most by any team so far at this World Cup. And then you look at the attempted goal, none on target for either the Three Lions or Albi Celeste, but hopefully we'll actually get to see what happens in that second half. It is England against, of course, Argentina. I am still with Solomon Kalu, Teko Modise, and Kumuzo Manenze. I think when we look at just that small little tidbit, quite a physical first half, Donna, and it really just tell how much both teams really want this encounter.
Yeah, I mean, both teams don't want to go home, right?
Yeah.
Maybe to many, it might look like a very, very boring game. But just the passion on the pitch, I think it's just more than just a game for both countries. You can see none of the midfielders allowing each other to actually have more time on the ball, a lot of physicality. And I think we're speaking also of accident. This is a game that really, really smells a red card because there's a lot of incidences, and it requires a referee to actually be firm and to start showing cards so that the game physicality can slow down, so we can see the type of football that we really, really want to witness.
100%. I mean, we speak about the physicality. I mean, the fouls in those opening 10 minutes really does paint a picture. The likes of Simeone already should be having a card on his name. But I mean, that's also just the semantics. The physicality also, suppose, shows that not really any of the teams have settled, especially when you look also at those stats of no shots on target.
Well, when you look at how both teams are applying themselves tactically, you'll see that whenever England have got an opportunity to press higher up on the field, they do that. But whenever they see that they can't win the ball, they go back into that midfield block. And the same with Argentina. Whenever Messi and Alvarez, they initiate the press and they see that they're not successful in that press, then they drop into that midfield. That is the tactical discipline. The only disadvantage of pressing higher would be the space in behind, which is a problem for the likes of Martinez at the back because of the pace or lack thereof. The same with Stones. When the team is pressing too high, they leave a lot of space in behind. That might be the danger or where the goal might come from today with the space in behind. So it becomes important for the goalkeepers to then manage the space between the last defenders and also themselves.
And you know, Solomon, I suppose the hydration break gave it a bit of a breather.
Yeah.
But I think it did continue again for Argentina and England, where we almost saw a bit of a brawl. And there is an instance where, again, we talk about the physicality.
Yeah, and I applaud the referee to let it play both sides, because we're playing it's a semi-final. You are fighting to go in the final of the World Cup. So I think he should let it play. Yeah, there's no. I don't think it's a heavy fault where you can get like a yellow or red. But if you let it play both sides, this is also a good way of saying I'm watching the game, I'm controlling the game, and I want you guys to play because you are fighting to go in the final. This is an important game for both teams, and I think I'd rather have both teams fighting for the spot than like yesterday where a team is watching the other team play.
Well, of course, that was a yellow for Anderson in that instance. And again, it does continue. And I think this also is a point in time where luckily they managed to calm it down a little bit. But again, of course, that challenge, and Messi has been one that they're really trying to get. We spoke about that to say, how do you even go and manage and actually control a Messi in a game like this?
Yeah, I mean, those, if I'm on the other side of England, I'd say whenever you start getting momentum, stop him. You need to find the ways to stop him. You can see even the Anderson taking that yellow card as well. But now the danger is the second half, Messi gets control over a game, you need to commit the game. But it is one of those games where we know that when it comes to semi-final of the World Cup, it's all about details. And now with all the emotions on the ground, now you need now at the halftime the coaches to manage those emotions, because at the end of the day, you need to be able to create goal-scoring opportunities, and both teams haven't done so. So second half, there's a lot of expectations happening. For Argentina, I guess maybe that one opportunity from Enzo that really maybe looked like maybe it was going on target, because after that foul that was done from Messi, they tried to play it in because they understand maybe the strength that England has in terms of aerial strength. But Enzo will forever find himself out in and out of the box, but he was unable to get the target. maybe this might be the game that really maybe one of the teams will be able to shoot from outside the box and get something, because it's very difficult to actually penetrate for both teams.
Very difficult to penetrate, but of course, no shots on target for either England or Argentina. This was a chance that they had, two shots. But are we going to see anything from either Argentina or England in the second half?
I feel the nerves would have come down a little bit in the second 45. I'm sure in the change room now, they're doing the tactical adjustments. But for me, when I look at this game, I think players that will come off the bench will be very influential. The likes of Rashford coming off the bench, the likes of Shaka or Saka coming off the bench would be key. But for this Argentinian team, I think they need to be more patient on the ball, because they seem to be playing at the same tempo as England, which is rushed and is not the way that Argentina plays.
Well, speaking about the way, it's all about meeting up with Spain in the final on Sunday. Question is, will they be able to sort it out in the next 45, that is England and Argentina, or are we going to see this game continue into 120 minutes while your World of Champions is right here to give you that decision? Is it going to be the Three Lions of England, or is it going to be the Albi Celeste of Argentina who go through to the final on Sunday?
side down inadvertently because it's been very tight. Occasionally it's to break out into a real contest, a real football match. Slow down a bit. And we could get with some tackles, some interruptions to play. But I think as the game goes on, inevitably there's going to be more room, and the first players that they can get on that ball will use it.
Argentina have scored 3 in each of their last 4 games out here, and in 5 of the 6 games at the World Cup, and he's been right in the thick of that. But after 10 clean sheets in 11, they've conceded in each of their last 4, which is a factor to give England encouragement. And of course, with this 11, only got the 6 of the best men, Kane and Bellingham, as World Cup goal scorers in this tournament. It is amazing that Messi's never played against England before. Actually, made his debut fixture before the last England-Argentina contest in 2005, but he got sent off on his debut and was suspended. Imagine that. Leo Messi, you read all about him, sent off after 45 seconds of his debut as a substitute. He missed the next game, which happened to be Argentina v England. Nothing yet decisive, nothing yet really dynamic. Looks like we're going to have a retake. We're going to do the countdown again. Back in the centre spot. Waiting for the whistle, which didn't happen last time. Early, right into that Argentina penalty, or at least on the edge from Pickford towards Kane. First touch from Messi. Alvarez.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Martin, just before half-time, I think England, with Rice and Henderson and Bellingham, I think they can perhaps dominate a little bit more of the ball, rather than sitting waiting for the turnover and then attacking from there, which, look, they've used very well in the tournament. They've been very dangerous from that sort of situation, but I just think they can dominate. Perhaps McAllister and this man, Paredes, played very well. Be very interesting. Paredes, who likes to commit to challenges, he gets a yellow card, it drastically alters his game. Because he's all about intimidation and threatening people in the football way, in the right way. That's what he does particularly well. If he's on a card, you cannot do that.
Anderson has the same problem. He has the problem.
He does.
Paredes doesn't have it yet.
Correct. Anderson has got to be careful. He'll want to get close to Enzo Fernandez and others around him in there. But you know, you put one foot out of place, you trip someone up, you're on a yellow card, you could be making that long walk to the dressing room, put the whole thing at risk.
It's a nice diving touch by Simeone. Alvarez gets his shot in, Pickford has to make the save.
Great save.
It's sneaking in by the near post. Alvarez again. Worse angle. And just that was reflected where the ball ended up. But just when England kicked off and thought the ball has been given here.
Yeah, the referee wasn't sure, in fairness. The referee wasn't sure it was a corner, but Argentina appealed for it, and then he just pointed to the corner. That's great play from Julian Alvarez. I mean, such a tight angle. It's going to take something incredible to beat Pickford from there, but I don't see a touch there, do you?
No, if it isn't a corner, it should be given as a goal kick. That's the new VAR point of reference. The corner it is. Something was detected. Mindful of England's height, the ball not just tossed into the box, now by Messi from a different angle. Still by Belly and Jordan can't get onto it. Now Messi. Broke for Messi. There's no flag and sing off. A bit of strength and determination by Bellingham. Short in either capacity.
It's that challenge from Paredes. Look at Messi. No, he's onside. He's good. He is onside. Excellent work, Jude Bellingham again. When Messi's backing you into the 18-yard box, you've got to get it right. He's done it perfectly.
There is a stat floating around, and there are plenty of them in this World Cup, that Messi for 47% of the time he's been on the pitch in these matches here in the USA. But I'd like a comparative stat with somebody, you know, who's not seen as a strolling player, really, to see what the mean is. Everybody walks at some time. But he does pick his moments. That's the point that it makes, really.
The other 53% mark, and he's normally doing something pretty useful.
The work of a genius.
Yeah.
Here's Gordon. Stopped by Romero, but England have got in behind the Spurs centre-back. The Spurs full-back, Jed Spence.
You know, a couple of times in the first half, Jed Spence, when he went at Molina, he went past him quite straightforward. Again there. England full-back, heading for the dead ball line, and Molina struggling to cope.
But he nearly got there, might still. Simeone, it's a wayward one in a dangerous area. Gordon. Anderson, under pressure from the willing Alvarez. Gay. All back for Argentina. Kane deep for England. Rogers worked hard to get it in. Ignored. He could have played it to Reece James, who's going to get a touch here. No foul.
It's good play, Tally, but that's a risky ball. Back or shot flat. Well played, Romero. Great footwork there, because that was a really risky one played to him. Under pressure in his own box.
That was the only way he could get out of trouble, and he did it superbly. And ball forward, trying to bring Simeone into play.
Has to be a card.
For Romero. So after an excellent piece of play, finds himself in trouble.
It's in those moments where they're vulnerable, and I think they sense that, particularly when Bellingham picks the ball up. Is that tremendous bit of footwork on the significant threat there. Mr. Romero, really good play, but seconds later, he gets a yellow. And for someone like him as well, that can be tricky, him on a yellow card, because he likes everything in front of him, wants to go and win it. Just might have to take a breath and pause now.
All I can say is that plenty of practice playing with a yellow card hanging over it. But here's Gordon, England looking lively. Anderson. I do feel that Argentina are reasonably happy defending deep. Keeps the speed that England have out of contention, really. When they're pushed up to the halfway line, as they are now, England could get away, but Simeone...
Romero's just hit the floor. I think in a situation with Jude Bellingham. So Jed Spence as well.
Simeone committed the most fouls of any Argentine player in the first half, 5. Like father, like son.
Well, he's a competitive boy.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about that. He likes to be in the thick of it.
And it looks a good selection in terms of dealing with some of England's speed, but Spence is quicker than him. He's quicker than anybody today. So credit England choice as well from Thomas Tuchel. Here's Alvarez, though. Hasn't always been in the team in this tournament. Second to Lautaro Martinez at the start, as he did in 2022. He's worked his way into that indispensable category. Messi. Simeone. Molina flashes it across. Gordon gets it away, not very far. Argentina come again. Sandro Martinez. It's also a yellow card from the first half. Simeone. Paredes. Really drilled that across.
I think he almost wanted to kind of bait that one a little bit with the outside of his boot, hit it hard and see if somebody can potentially get on the end of that.
He, of course, will preside over the final. And Infantino wondering, like we all are, who Spain will meet. It's England, of course, a rerun of the Euro 2024 final 2 years ago, which Oyarzabal has been in great form here, scored the winning goal right at the end.
I mean, they give us good a team performance yesterday, Mark, didn't they? Spain against that French team, as we've seen from any team. They were terrific.
Kane saw the run of Rodgers, couldn't quite find it, but there's a back up here. Rodgers is crossed. Gordon coming in. Right place, right time. England in the semi-final. The world champions are on the ropes.
And I mentioned about space, and we're starting to see a little bit more of it appear. It's Harry Kane who serves it forward. Tagliafico does well. Now look, Declan Rice, first time, great ball out to Rodgers. Watch Anthony Gordon at the bottom of the screen. Molina doesn't know whether he's running around the front of him or coming around the back of him. He chooses the latter, and he controls that finish absolutely perfectly. Eyes on the ball, pick it up off that fast surface, and just guide it past Martinez, who has no chance whatsoever with that. It's a brilliant England goal.
In a flash, Gordon, 1-0 England. But the point we were saying, when Argentina sit back deep, they can defend. But when they push up,
Yeah,
England break with pace and break through.
very important there. You've seen a player going down the right side, Martin, looking a dangerous ball in. And the player on the opposite side of the field looking to get inside that back post. If you get in there and make a fast run and defenders square and a bit static as Molina was, then you can punish them. And Anthony Gordon could not have timed that any better. It was perfect.
England led in their last World Cup semi-final against Croatia. They didn't pan out, but they could double their money here. Or Kane couldn't take it on. Argentina rattled. But Messi isn't. And here comes Simeone. The chance to hit back straight away. A challenge. That's big tackle from Jed Spence, who knows what it meant and how much it took. Talk about his speed. There it is again.
What a tackle that is. Simeone is about to hit that and maybe get Argentina back in the game. You get that wrong, you're conceding a penalty, maybe even getting a red. Jed Spence there, that's a proper challenge, that.
Corner for Argentina, who certainly won't take conceding the opening goal lying down. In by Messi again, defended by Kane.
Martin, when Argentina were 2 down against Egypt, they produced their best attack in football. what I've seen in the competition. They had to go for it, and they really did go for it, and found a way and got back in the game and eventually won it. So England know here that they're going to have to defend very well, because this team in blue are going to keep pouring forward.
Martinez. What England have and what Argentina know, because they've just experienced this, is that pace on the break. Losing possession when you're seeking an opening here could be very costly, but it's a ball that judges well enough. Yeah, how many bit was left on him? Have a look here.
Great ball, Morgan Rogers, brilliant ball in. Anthony Gordon, Alina doesn't really know exactly where he is, and the first time that Alina saw Anthony Gordon, he was putting it in the net.
England present delighting England past. Not the first time he scored past Emi Martinez. But here's Messi. Not for long. Mount to Paredes, McAllister. Argentina fighting for their crown here. Kane very nearly got caught where he shouldn't get caught. Game on. Messi. Paredes. Argentina upping their attacking play. They need to. Simeone. Retrieved by Tagliafico here. He's wasted no time in doing that. Fernandez. Medina, who got caught out with Gordon's darting run for the goal. Romero. Fernandez.
It's a waste. England will be happy if people are going to take shots from that sort of difference. Look, I know Enzo Fernandez can hit them well, but that's exactly what you want if you're an England player. That sort of angle, anything hit, you'd expect Jordan Pickford to be a match for it.
So far, compliments to Thomas Tuchel. Morgan Rogers in the team.
Yes, indeed.
And Jed Spence defending superbly as well. Rogers, clearly Gordon timed this run to perfection. You don't become world champions without having bags of fight, as well as tons of ability. As Andy quite rightly said, the comeback against Egypt was the epitome of team refusing to give up on a tournament that they graced 4 years ago, 3.5 years to be technically correct. Messi was the star of that. One of the stars of this, but not the only one. To passes, Enzo Fernandez. McAllister. Sandro Martinez.
Those white shirts, Martin. Across the edge of that 18-yard box. Shown already in the tournament, particularly against Mexico when they were down to 10. They can stand there, England, and happily deal with crosses. It's just that bit of one touch and that inventiveness that Messi provides. Can that be the spark that finally finds a way through?
Paredes. Alvarez. The way through. I wonder when Dan Byrne might be summoned. Scott England across the line. the last couple of games. Giant defender for Newcastle. Spence, well, I miscalculated with that one, but helped out by James's header. This is where England can break and want to break. Keep Argentina honest at the back.
Yep, subs getting warmed up below us, Martin. It's imminent change for Argentina.
I think Lautaro Martinez might be high on that list. Good idea. Take the throw quickly. So yeah, he didn't hear the whistle. They're wasting no time. Nico Gonzalez for Paredes. A definite switch in emphasis.
Yeah, they're feeling now that they can't get back into the game without risking that midfield area. They certainly do that. Paredes actually, I thought, was particularly good today. He played well in that particular part of the field, but they'll miss him. More responsibility now on this man, Enzo Fernandez. But they'll be looking for Nico Gonzalez, who's a good runner. Wants to, every time he gets the ball, he wants to travel with it into any space in front of him.
It's gone out left. Well, England know Enzo Fernandez's game inside out. They know they can run past him.
No one in the box.
Messi. It's a clever one. And Nico Gonzalez with a contribution straight away coming round the back. It goes out off McAllister. It's a little bit more awkward for England.
Yeah, great ball from Messi. Nico Gonzalez, yeah. Good introduction to the game, doing exactly the right thing, heading it back. Look at John Stones there. What a great defensive header that is.
Tagliafico. There is that kind of fullback who will arrive with a goal. England have the goal. Good one too. Okay. Spence. Argentina have to moderate to some extent their desire to all-out attack, because England can score again. And Rice, great hands by Martinez, with Bellingham coming in. The distribution is let down. It's not a foul. Rice, Kane, but he let fly, tries to. Martinez will prevent the corner. Was it Enzo Fernandez who was caught?
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was a foul either, Martin. I agree with you. I think the ball just got caught under his feet.
That is a foul. Tagliafico by Rodgers.
But that's going to be an opportunity for England to add to the one they have. They are going to have an opportunity when they win possession to release someone in space now.
Messi. It's played for Gonzalez. Slightly more desperately defending for England. First with the Stones header, which was very good, and Rice's clearance, which wasn't quite so solid. Corner.
Tracking back towards his own goal, always difficult that when you're running back, particularly at pace. It's different if you're kind of just stepping side to side back towards your own goal. When you're sprinting back into the box and the ball's at your feet, not to adjust it to get it to where you want it to go, and Declan Rice just skying that one out for a corner.
Zanetti there, who scored in that 98 game when Beckham was sent off from a wonderfully worked set piece for Argentina. Javier Zanetti. It's nail biting on both sides. Argentina corner. You were Thomas Tuchel, you were thinking, well, they shouldn't hurt us from corners.
No, it's only these. It's only with really Romero. It's their biggest threat, you feel. I mean, we've seen Alexis McAllister in the tournament pop up when he runs across the near post, Martin, to try and get that first contact, that first flick.
He's certainly done it in England in the Premier League for Brighton and for Liverpool. And it goes. England deal with it. Down by Molina. Messi. That's a brilliant ball. What a sensational save from Pickford.
What a cross from Messi. That was absolutely on the money. Would not have delivered that any faster, any harder, any better. Brilliant header. And Jordan Pickford. Sometimes they can be very awkward, particularly at pace when they're right by your feet. That's some save.
It's Nico Gonzalez who's made a quick impact. Jordan Pickford been saving in episodes like that where he's not been. Goalkeeper, you need to have some sort of sense of bearing. Can't be hot and cold. Be very hot there. That Spence's tackle and Gordon's goal, keeping the score, creating the score, and sustaining the score for Thomas Tuchel's team. And the change involves the goal scorer going off as we concert, who was left out. And in the team, John Stones is just shrugging his shoulders saying, what do you want to do now? What's happening here? Is Reece James playing midfield, maybe? But first of all, we've got to tell you about a raft of changes. Montiel is a right back. DePaul, we know, plays wide right. Otamendi plays in the middle at the back. They're not going for youth here. Montiel actually scored the penalty that won the World Cup in the shootout against France in Qatar 2022. Otamendi's played for decades.
Yeah, lots of changes for both teams. We'll see exactly how they're shaping up over this next minute or two, but no time to wait.
Ice goes in. Argentina with the throw. His opposite number now. It's on the pitch, Montiel. A very short spell in England with Nottingham Forest, not very successful. He's known, should we say, known to the opposition. Messi. Spence is there. Alvarez. Fico coming up in support. Gonzalez drag defenders away. Messi. And Montiel in a great crossing position here. England had numbers back, not necessarily all in the right place.
Clever little delivery that from Montiel. It was Alexis McAllister. One of the smaller guys in that 18-yard box, but he made a really nice run. Just the cross just beat him.
Here's De Paul. Romero. Fico. Montiel again. Then in defensive duty. To sustain the discipline. It's a team desperate to unhinge the organisation. Montiel. Messi still doing it from deeper. So Fernandez. De Paul. It's a good cross. Oh, it's hit the post.
Wow.
England a whisker away from losing the lead. Argentina redoubling their efforts. De Paul. It's another cross coming in here from Montiel. Kane tries to alleviate the pressure unsuccessfully. Alvarez. Montiel still waiting on the right. He's made an impact already at right back, the substitute. In from De Paul. Pickford. When it did bobble away, McAllister was entitled to have a go.
He isn't tired yet. Well, the first header from Alexis McAllister. I mean, if it's 6 inches inside that post, it flies in the back of the net. It was a brilliant ball in from Rodrigo De Paul, and McAllister timed his run perfectly. He's good at that, very, very clever at that, and he got on the end of it with absolutely exquisite timing. Watch this. He's totally unmarked. If it's another 6 inches inside that, less than that even, it goes in. Very, very unlucky.
The challenge is coming to the team who are leading. De Paul. Otamendi. Messi. Montiel. This time he doesn't cross it. De Paul with that beautiful ball in. For McAllister. Fernandez. Messi. Here's Gonzalez. Well, they're winning balls in the air. And England are surviving just about.
It's got to score there. That's an unbelievable pass from Messi. It's a great run from Gonzalez. Flag up anyway, actually. Watch that run at the top of the screen. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a tight call. It's a very, very tight call. But having got his head on the end of that, he's got to try and loop that over to him and Pickford into the far post.
Still a good 15 minutes to go.
Since their goal, England haven't really had a kick.
It's 2.5 minutes after the goal where Spence made that wonderful recovering tackle. Argentina have been put on the gas pretty much since then. And here it comes again.
Challenge that every concert.
Been a real tough to change the right back job for England in this tournament. Messi trying to be the architect again. No foul. This is what England want to counter-attack. From Bellingham. Kane up with him. It's Rodgers rather. Rodgers going for goal. And, in a position where he's probably a bit more comfortable, but he made the goal from the right, didn't he?
Oh, he certainly did. He did it brilliantly off the other side, but he's good in that position. It's Messi that was looking for the foul, didn't get it. And I think that'll happen again, Martin. That sort of situation for England will present itself once more. I'm pretty sure of that. They've just got to make sure they try and keep Argentina out this end.
Alvarez. Messi. The movement in the box that England have got to deal with it. Over having a lot of tall players, if you can't stick tight to your man when the crosses come in, and he's so right, he said Alexis McAllister is very good, making beautifully timed late runs. It's waiting on the edge of the area again, static this time. Appreciating the cross might not come for a moment or two anyway. It's with a bit of retrieving by Enzo Fernandez. Taliafico. Lautaro Martinez is getting ready to come on. Montiel. Rodrigo de Paul. Fernandez. Messi. Squirming. And comes around the back to Rodrigo de Paul. Is it a dangerous play? Not seen so. Is it a foul there? It is. By Gonzalez. On the tail. As Lautaro Martinez comes on for Taliafico. Striker for the left back. Yeah. Needs must for Argentina.
Yeah, they're going all out now. Of course they are. Some really brave defending back there from England, but they're having to because Argentina are really testing them. They are. They're putting some wonderful crosses into that box. Montiel has crossed it more times than anybody else in the game. He's only been on for 10 minutes. There's that one coming in there from Taliafico, just evading Alexis McAllister. Great touch there, Martin, wasn't it? And this is the foul.
With rejection, never quite sure. And it's something that might affect the final. Should it be the final for England? That is a tempting fate remark.
Well,
I apologise for that. So it is time for Dan Burn.
yeah, not surprised at all because of the amount of crosses that Argentina are putting in the box. So I was just walking off holding that right leg a little bit tenderly there, Reece James.
And another tall player.
Correct.
Nico O'Reilly. Declan Rice, I think, is shepherded off. Because we have these substitution rules that I don't think have really been enforced, that you have to go off very rapidly. When players are tired, it's ridiculous to try and enforce it. But I think generally it was a point where people were wasting time. Rice has given his all. Riley, if Manchester City is on.
It's an interesting one, Martin. Elliot Anderson on a yellow card. And I know that Declan Rice has had a few issues, hasn't he, with illness, etc.
Time is the friend of England, the enemy of Argentina. There's still plenty of it. So the ball to the face of this semi-final. So far, it's a smiling face for the European nation. Messi. The Paul. Enzo Fernandez. Rodrigo de Paul. Telegraphed it too much. Little sprint from Messi did enough. O'Reilly was only half a yard away from winning that and getting England into Argentina territory. Gonzalez. De Paul. Messi. Yeah, neither one thing or the other. Unfortunate from Argentina's point of view and the skippers. Checking it out on the big screen.
Yeah, he's just having a look, yeah, to see how much he overclocked that one. Just a jump, yeah, just a bit too much. But you're right, Martin, what you said in terms of Nico O'Reilly coming on along with Dan Burn, the height that England have got now.
Argentina are not finished. Fernandez. Ooh. Was a fair way out. Needed an intervention from the fingertips of Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, good strike, straight at Jordan Pickford. It's one that he's always going to get. Probably always thought it might be just going over the bar, but has to make sure.
Well, these short corners, more often than not, as he gets into the penalty area. Smashing the equaliser. It's 1-1 in Atlanta.
What a strike. You can't say they don't deserve it. They do. They do deserve to be back on level terms. And that is some hit from Enzo Fernandez. It's a brilliant strike. They go short again to Rodrigo de Paul. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Is this going to be offside? It's Messi offside when he receives that again. It's a big call. He might be, you know. The shot is stunning. The strike is unbelievable. But I wonder whether Messi is offside. Would we know by now? We probably would. Great goal. Brilliant hit.
Oh, the referee's got his hand to his ear. So as we assess the spectacular nature of the shot, what went before? Looks as though it's a goal given.
Stunning. Absolute stunning.
Is it shades of 2018 for England when Croatia came back to win 2-1? It's the response of champions.
It is. They've done exactly the same as they did when they were backs to the wall against Egypt. Then they show a different face. They have another level that they hit. And that's a wonderful strike that is from Enzo Fernandez. Top draw.
Lionel Messi, a goal or an assist in each of his last 11 World Cup games. It's amazing. It is amazing. Argentina are remarkably resilient. England were edging towards New York.
And it's listen, when you're 1-0 up and you keep looking up at the clock and you're seeing the minutes start to evaporate, it's human nature to start to backpedal onto the edge of your box. And they just gave Enzo Fernandez too much room there. But boy, what a hit. You've still got a lot to do from that sort of range, and it's some strike.
Messi England aerially under pressure again. And referee, well, if you're an Argentina player, you go, why? We're all going to be on sides. But referee stopped it.
Argentina players are not happy. John Stones, it was who headed that away. Then immediately hit the floor. The referee has no option in this situation. He has to blow the whistle.
There's a picture from an elderly Englishman, which tells the story for all Englishmen and ladies.
I mean, to be honest, there's nothing there. John Stones, that's a routine header for him. But he's not the first player that does that. Heads it, goes down and gets the game stopped. What a hit.
It was placement as well as power.
Yeah.
And that is the package, isn't it?
Correct. I mean, Jordan Pickford has made some incredible saves this tournament. Not just today, but he's not getting that. Not getting anywhere near that one.
Goals have come late, and a lot of them throughout the whole tournament, not just the late ones, have come from outside the box. They are responding to the chief cheerleader, the leader of the gang.
And then have to dig very, very deep now. They do. They've got to weather this continual wave that's coming at them in blue, and then try and find the strength and the resources to get forward themselves. John Stones is going to have to leave the field and play Martin for a bit.
Had shades of that Croatian goal we saw England concede just before half time in the game, the first game they played in Dallas. Soaring away to the right of Jordan Pickford. Here's Messi. Spence trying to get it away. Kane trying to get it away. We're into 9 added minutes, incidentally. Argentina will feel that this is their time.
Yeah, they'll want to try and get it done before extra time. England will be desperate to get to that next 30 minutes if necessary, but right now the team that with all the momentum, the team in possession.
Well, Alexis McAllister hits the post for the second time. He's hit both posts. Oh. Messi.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Going out to the semi-final stage.
We should. We should.
They haven't stopped the supply, England.
It's not coming.
And they haven't dealt with the pain in the box.
They just can't stop it. Argentina have got the wind in their backs and they've got energy in their legs. So unlucky there, McAllister. And then when he comes out wide, it's Messi. And you're all expecting him to chop onto the left foot. Instead of that, he goes down the line on the right. Stands out, beautiful cross. And it's thumped in the back of the net. By Lautaro Martinez. Florence majestically hangs in there, totally unmarked. And gives Argentina, I think, a deserved lead at this stage of the game.
For the record, you can see Stones was back on. England are withering. Argentina are wondering now whether this superb comeback, in truth, against a lot of the tapestry of the play, they have found what champion found in trouble. A tough, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Throw all the cliches that you like. They apply. Harry Kane's asking for checks on the top. England now, the one thing you can from England's point of view is they are slightly out of balance in terms of attacking players on the field, Argentina.
Rodrigo the ball there, Martin, getting a yellow card. Whether that was for just delaying the restart, I'm not sure.
I think any delay will the referee, I must say, is I think got through that first 20 minutes.
Yes.
He did that. I don't know, but he's blossomed as an official as the game has gone on. There are a few makeshift defenders.
Dan Burner's automatically gone right in towards Emi Martinez for any sort of long throw or any cross that England can fashion from this situation.
Do not rule out an England goal. Do not despairing them, fans. Those Argentina fans will want their team to do what England couldn't do, which is stop the balls coming into the box. And Tony, who's been travelling around with England, member of the squad, not had a minute. It might be his time. Oh, the goalkeeper started to come, got nowhere near it. Headed away by Gonzalez. 5 of the 9 have gone. Rodrigo de Paul marshalling the troops. They are vulnerable. You feel Argentina from this kind of stuff. I want to get Tony on, I want to get Rashford on. Stones has come off. Well, Thomas Tuchel has picked a team for this tournament, and he said special forces, really, and this is a special forces moment for Ivan Toney.
And Marcus Rashford coming on as well.
Yeah, who's the only other England player who scored in this World Cup apart from Bellingham and Kane. He did against Croatia. Put it into the box will be the message from the boss, I'm sure, and it's coming in now. Not very well. No. The hearts might be broken for those the England sections of the ground. This football is so much about late goals. Just international tournaments. The adding on of so much extra time. Kane wins the header. And Romero clears. Retrieved by Rodgers. Lots of players in white in the middle of it. Doesn't reach a whole pack of them beyond where the ball arrived. Pickford the supplier this time. With a good angle on it towards Kane. Knocked away by Alvarez. Towards Burn.
Yeah, he's the one Martin trying to hit now. Yeah. Jordan Pickford here, he's going to look for Dan Burn on that diagonal probably again.
Martinez, Burn goes down, referee's having nothing to do with that. Maybe not with that either. A little bit desperate from Dan Burn in the circumstances. What a game.
What a game. The noise we have in this stadium, my goodness me.
An awesome recovery from Argentina. We talk about late goals. They've scored plenty of them in this tournament. De Paul wasn't the best ball, I don't think.
Just go down the line with that there. Rodrigo De Paul, player of his experience, gave the ball away cheaply.
clock ticks up to 8 added minutes.
Maybe one last chance for England to get some sort of decent delivery from a wide area.
It's a great header. It's coming back at Argentina again. Rashford. It's done very well. It can be play. Argentina need only now to keep the ball. Who better? Who better? He's there again. He's fouled this time. Almost gets Argentina to the final. Well, this is how it started. To be fair, from say minute 15 to a number from those guys. Yeah, not too much. Now, the game is almost up. It wasn't ever in the palm of their hand, Andy, was it?
No, not at all. Messi did good here, got his body back in. Absolutely foul to go for that. It's a foul.
Well, we do apologize for that disruption, but we go back to Atlanta Stadium.
Real time for England to take the throw. Anderson, referee, not indicating that he's going to blow yet. And then trying to pass it forward. They could be in real trouble here, except that Messi has the bigger picture in mind. Didn't go out. Going back to Martinez. He steers it forward towards his namesake Lautaro, who has the winning goal to his name. And when the final whistle goes, with it still being 2-1, it's up towards Byrne.
What's a header that is?
Enzo Fernandez. Argentina say blow the final whistle. The referee hasn't done it. In Atlanta. Back with Pickford, one last long ball. Doesn't get any more dramatic than this. World Cup semi-final. Dan Burn coming in for it. Martinez hasn't got it. He's got a free kick.
Yes.
And that's all that Argentina need.
Yes. 나에게 맛이
Everybody off the Argentina bench, everybody waving their hands in the air.
Scaloni trying to make sure nothing untoward happens. Dugout behaviour under scrutiny like everything else. There he is, the man who rose and planted in a header. Yet another Messi assist. Into the 12th added minute, and Argentina, the world champions, are going to the 2026 final.
Yes.
Messi inspired the comeback. England scored
Yes.
first as they did in 2018 when they lost to Croatia 2-1. Enzo Fernandez equalised here. A goal from Anthony Gordon. But Enzo Fernandez hammered an equaliser. And then as we moved into a long period of added time, Lautaro Martinez at the magic moment that mattered. And England falls short. Again, they'll play again for the bronze medal. And Argentina will play Spain in New York, New Jersey on Sunday. And the great man has another great game in prospect. Andy Townsend.
Martin, what a pleasure to sit here in this stadium, in this noise, in this colour, in this atmosphere, and see a game like that. It had everything. It was edgy, it was niggly at the start of the game. Even now, at the end of the game, there's still A few shenanigans going on out there, but some game. England getting in front, not long left. And then Argentina do what they have done in this competition.
You spotted it.
Yeah. When it matters, they change it up, and they've got another gear. When they're controlling the game or 1-0 up, they're not quite as effective. When they are chasing and their backs are up against the wall, boy, do they ever come out with some strong football, some really, really progressive stuff. And they've scored 2 goals. And on the face of it, they deserve their victory today. That is, as you quite rightly said, Martin, that is what champions are all about.
They could have been cast as yesterday's men. Now they could be Sunday's stars. Yet again in the final. And England have to reflect on a gallant campaign. They are in the mix when it comes to going for trophies. And they never quite had the game under their control, even with the lead. The Jet Spence brilliant tackle only came 2.5 minutes after England had scored. They've given absolutely everything. But Argentina still have everything to play for. England 1, Argentina 2.
What was that? This one.
That's how the magic at Atlanta Stadium ends. It is the 3 Lions who unfortunately have been depleted, defeated, and now are going home as Argentina, La Albi Celeste, led by that man that is Leo Messi, who provided 2 beautiful assists. And then you have Martinez and Fernandez, who made sure to go with this wonderful goal to see Argentina through to the much anticipated, mouth-watering, scintillating grand finale in New York on Sunday against Apiria Rojas. And I am still with my panel of champions, Pumuto Manente, and of course, Solomon Kalu. Solomon, wow.
Wow. I mean, what can we say? You know, the thing is, since the competition started, we heard a lot of things about this team that they don't deserve, they don't. I think that's, if you have to have an example of team spirit, that's what they show. They show, it doesn't matter if they're taking goal, if they're losing, they keep playing as a team and they fight for each other, for the badge. And that's beautiful to see. You know, we love those emotions that they're showing to the public. Either you fan or not fan of Argentina, every time they play, you get emotion. And that's what